The skills for Arthur Pendragon have just been released, and he is going to blow your mind and without a doubt change the meta. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Rise of Kingdoms gameplay video from your very own Shappy Gaming. Today we are going to be talking about the skills for Arthur Pendragon, why I think he is going to be changing the meta in Rise of Kingdoms forever, and the new talent tree that they've revealed for combo attack damage. All of this is absolutely crazy. Now, before we get into it, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name's Shappy. I'm a sponsored Rise of Kingdoms content creator. And while you're at it, why not hit that subscribe button right over there, bottom right-hand corner, join the Shappy squad, become a part of the channel. Now, without further ado, let's dive into Arthur Pendragon. Now, if you guys missed my previous video, I'll link that on the top right side of the screen for you and you can go check it out. I spoke all about the new update and some of the perspectives I had on Arthur Pendragon. But just to reiterate, Arthur is going to be a cavalry, versatility, and combo attack commander. Now, cavalry and versatility, we've seen combo attack is a brand new talent tree. We'll be reading through that at the end. He will also be a Wheel of Fortune commander, so you can get him on the wheel. So he's accessible to everyone, and spoiler alert, he is primarily going to be a field commander. So he's going to be looking to replace some of your field marches like Ho Chi Bing, Nevsky, William, or Joan. Those are the four commanders we're looking at potentially replacing with Arthur. Keep that in mind because that's going to be really important. Now, you're also going to be able to test out King Arthur for free on January 10th. I will be making a video on this, so definitely subscribe if you haven't already because I will be walking through all of this. You can also test him on your own. Now let's get into the skills. The first skill is Excalibur, and I have to say, Arthur has perhaps the most complex skill set I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm really excited to go through the simulator that Specco has to actually see how this all comes into play. Now, this first skill is AoE, which we love, especially if we're talking about potentially benching Nevsky or Ho Chi Bing. If this commander is serving as a primary commander, their troop gains the Sword in the Lake effect, launching 2 combo attacks against up to 3 enemy troops in a fan. Damage factor of 1400. Now again, it's 2 combo attacks, so it's really 2800. Every additional target reduces the damage to each target by 15%. That's normal. If this commander is serving as a secondary commander, their troop gains the Sword in the Stone effect, different effect, dealing direct damage to up to 3 enemy troops in a fan with a damage factor of 2800. That is a huge damage factor for cavalry. And it's AoE. We have not seen the likes of that before. To put this into perspective for you, we have Joan's damage factor of 2000, and that's pretty good. Right? And then the other highest real damage factor that we're seeing is actually going to be Ho Chi Bing, and that's a single target, and that's 2700. So just to make it clear exactly how broken this is, that's 2800 damage factor in an AoE format. That alone is already telling me, okay, meta potential. Now, combo attack damage is affected by bonuses to normal damage, and it can trigger any effect triggered by basic attacks. Whenever this troop launches, it's hit by a basic attack. They do not trigger counterattacks, so they are just an additional damage being dealt. They're kind of like skill damage. Now, the interesting thing here is if he's being run as a secondary, you're getting skill damage. You probably already have a wedge formation that's going to benefit you. But if you're running him as a primary, you kind of have to trade away that skill damage for combo attack damage. That's going to be a big question. I don't know that anyone has combo attack damage really built into their playstyle just yet, which means maybe it's time you start investing in those armaments or arch formation for cavalry. I know some people have it. I'm looking at you, Chadsky, for commanders like Attila, but we'll have to see how this really comes into play. I'm suspicious. On to the next skill. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, but this commander's units gain 20% march speed, and if they're attacking a field troop, their cavalry units also gain 30% attack and 20% health. This is huge. Like, we've seen buffs to attack and defense and march speed before. I don't think we've seen anything of this volume where you get march speed, attack, and health all within the same skill. That's crazy. I mean, he's already got health, which is the most important thing. Attack, which I think for cavalry is probably the second most because you're going to be dealing damage. And that march speed bonus is huge. 20% march speed bonus already puts him as one of the fastest commanders that we're seeing just out the gate, and he's brand new. Like, that's absolutely crazy to me. I mean, Nevsky has march speed bonus, he has attack bonus, and he has health bonus, but just to put it in a perspective for you guys, Nevsky's bonuses right here, he's got 20% attack, 20% march speed, and 20% health. If we already look at Arthur, he's over here with 20% march speed, an extra 10% attack, and he's got the 20% health that we're seeing with Nevsky. So that's already pretty crazy. Like, just looking at his raw skills, he's got a better setup than Nevsky already. Next skill, Scabbard of Avalon. If this commander is serving as a primary commander, their troop gains the Scabbard of the Lake effect, granting a 10% bonus to combo attack damage. This is really important, because that kicks off that first skill. If this commander is serving as a secondary commander, their troop gains the Scabbard of the Stone effect, granting it a 10% bonus to skill damage. If their troop is attacking a field troop, these damages are multiplied by 3. What this means is if you're pairing him behind someone like Nevsky or Ho Tu Bing, you're now getting a 30% skill damage bonus. Flat. Out the gate. If you're attacking a field troop, which you are, because it's a field commander. That's a big deal, right? That's a pretty big deal. 30% skill damage boost behind someone like Nevsky or Ho Tu Bing is a lot. As a secondary, right? That's already telling me I can get rid of my William that I have today and replace him immediately with Arthur, which is really exciting because I think William's been viable for a little bit too long. So this is already telling me William's out because I've got an AoE, I've got attack, I've got field troop damage. Let's move on to the next one. Merlin's Magic. When this commander is attacking a field troop, again, he's built for the field. It launches a combo attack or deals direct damage. It has a 30% chance to reduce the target's rage by 100 every second for the next 2 seconds. That in itself is crazy. 30% chance is a lot, right? That's the same proc as a dagger or Mora's Web, which we've seen happen a lot. You see it pretty frequently because it's on every basic attack. You have that 30% chance. And it's decreasing the rage by, it says 100 every second. Really, it's 2 seconds. And when you're in the field, that's meaning that your opponent is having to take at least an extra 2 basic attacks to trigger their skill damage. So that's actually a pretty powerful debuff. Whenever it uses an active skill, it gains 30% march speed for 3 seconds. The march speed I don't really care about, right? I guess it's good if you're trying to run away, but to be honest, I could see this becoming more problematic than helpful, especially in a murder ball scenario, because if you're fighting and you trigger your skill, you may end up getting dragged into that murder ball because your march speed is too high. We'll see. That's a lot of march speed. And last but not least, we have our expertise, Mab Derrigan. If this commander is serving as a primary commander, their troop gains the Light of the Lake effect. Ooh. Whenever their troop launches a basic attack, it has a 50% chance to launch 1 extra combo attack, damage factor 300. I like that. That's a really big deal, because that can happen whenever you're attacking. This is instant proc damage. This effect can trigger multiple times per second. Each time it triggers in a single second, its chance to trigger is reduced to 50% of the previous trigger chance. Meaning this can happen constantly. This can be a multiple damage factor event. It's not just 300, it could be 600 or 900. Chances go down, but that's a big deal. The one downside, and obviously he needed the downside, is a cooldown of 10 seconds. It's kind of a long cooldown. If you're city popping, you're going to get that no matter what, which is great, right? You might pop out, wait until you start triggering this, pop back in. That 10-second cooldown is high. If this commander is serving as a secondary commander, their troop gains Light of the Stone effect. Whenever the troop deals direct damage, it has a 25% chance to deal additional damage every second for 1 second to all targets of the damage factor. That's also a really good expertise buff. I am just saying it now. Arthur's meta. We could do testing, but Arthur's going to be part of the meta. So if you don't have gold heads, You should start saving up for gold heads now, because he is going to be part of the meta. I have no doubt about it. None. I'm convinced at this point he is going to be part of the meta, which is a big deal. Now you may be wondering, how does this combo talent tree work? And that's a good question. It's new. And this is really important because it helps us decide whether we want him to be primary or secondary. Whenever this troop launches any type of basic attack, it has a 10% chance to reduce target's health. That is a really good talent debuff. That's going to be Blizzard of Blows for 3 seconds, and it can stack up to 5 times. Now this is interesting too, because if you have multiple combo attack damage commanders, I wonder if this buff can stack consecutively from those different commanders, because health debuffs are really lethal. That's like having the dagger right there. The next one is No Quarter. That's going to be this. Whenever this commander's troop launches any type of combo attack, it gains 15 range. We've seen this, right? That's nothing new, right? That's kind of standard. Whenever this commander's troop launches any type of basic attack, it has a 10% chance to gain a 3% bonus to damage dealt for 3 seconds. That's super broken. That's super broken. 10% chance is fine, but that's like having the ring right there. All right, 3% bonus to damage dealt for 3 seconds is a lot. And if you can get that to trigger when you have your active skill, that's gonna hurt. I love that. That sucks if you're taking it, but that's a really good talent. And last but not least, we have Iron and Steel. This is the 4th, and that's whenever this commander's troop launches a combo attack / ranged combo attack. Are we putting him behind someone with ranged? I don't think so. It has a 10% chance to launch an extra combo attack / ranged combo attack. Damage factor of 250, cooldown of 10 seconds. That's pretty good. That's a nice damage factor. I actually really like that. Now what this tells me, and what I'm taking from this, is the combo attack talent tree is going to be pretty strong, right? I would probably go combo attack talent tree plus cavalry talent tree if I'm running him. But I'm also seeing that they're going to be introducing combo attack range commanders with the combo attack talent tree. So Mr. Siege, don't get too excited, but I do think this means that is going to be coming. In the next cycle of range, we're going to be seeing that, because otherwise they wouldn't have put this text here. That was very specific. He's the only one with this combo tree right now. I'm calling it now. So there are a couple questions when it comes to Arthur. We know he's going to be a good skill damage commander. Just based on his raw skills, he outplays and outmatches every commander we have today for cavalry. So you can run him secondary to Nevsky or Ho Chi Minh. Done. Already decided. Your William is out. The question that I have is, if you're running him primary, what does that look like? Because you can run him primary and you can put him behind Attila. Because combo attack damage is not debuffed by Attila's skills. Attila benefits normal attack damage. So if we actually go in game here, let's go and look at what Attila looks like. Because if he has a nice bonus to combo attack damage, that could make sense, right? The other question that I'm thinking is, should we put him with Joan? Because then you get 2 AoE commanders that are dealing a ton of damage. In which case, if you've got Arthur with Joan, your next question is, who are you benching? Are you benching Nevsky or are you benching Ho Chi Minh? That's a really important one. I think if you're trying to benefit everyone else, I would probably bench Ho Chi Minh. But it's a good question. Attila has a buff to 30% normal attack damage, which is going to buff that combo attack damage, which is already nice. Now, he does have this skill, which is primarily for cities or strongholds, so we can skip that. He takes less skill damage. He gains 15% march speed and attack. And he also has a potential bonus to damage dealt of 50 to 100%, which is nice. That's only for 2 seconds. His expertise says that he deals 20% normal attack damage to troops with less than 50% of units remaining, which could also help that Arthur skill. So there's some synergy here. Attila could work. The problem that I see is Attila's really built to be primary, not a secondary. So we can look at Takeda. Takeda is the secondary for Attila today. Whenever a burn troop is hit with a basic attack, there's a 50% chance that it'll take 50% more normal attack damage. You are going to be inflicting a burn, right? So this could benefit your Arthur setup, right? Because you've got that damage, that combo attack damage, and the proc damage that can happen. Takeda also has an attack bonus and a march speed bonus. And he's got a nice heal, which is handy. And he has a defense bonus. You don't have a defense bonus with Arthur today, so you kind of want to get that. You want to make sure you have that in your lineup. So this makes me think Takeda could be viable. And then you take less skill damage, and you can reduce all incoming normal attack damage and counter attack damage. And here's the last thing. This commander's troop deals 30% more damage, normal damage to burn enemies. So Takeda's nice. We have cavalry commanders that could work. Now, the reason that I kind of like Joan is she does have this skill damage, which is going to be nice. You're not necessarily getting the benefits from that, but I like it. Now, the other thing is for the next 3 seconds, up to 3 nearby allied or friendly troops, including yourself, deal 5% more damage and gain more rage. Arthur has the highest skill damage and combo attack damage that we've seen, so you probably want to be proccing that as frequently as possible. She does have a march speed bonus and a normal attack damage bonus, which is why I was really thinking she's got a flat 5% normal damage bonus. You throw the arch formation, you've got another 5%. Then she has health, and she has a chance to trigger active skill again, which we love. She deals a lot of damage. And this troop deals 5% more damage to troops with more than 30% units remaining, which is the opposite of Attila's skill. These are the commanders I'm really thinking of putting behind Arthur if you're going to run him. I like having commanders that are probably going to buff him. You could put someone like Nevsky behind him if you wanted to. I'm just not seeing that normal damage synergy. You really only get it with that expertise. I think Arthur is going to be pretty broken. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you've enjoyed, again, drop that like on that video and hit the subscribe button right over there, bottom right-hand corner. I hope you have. Thank you all. Shappy out.